folks, Andrea Cox here with AndreaCox.com and the DETOXintuitive.com. Welcome to my kitchen. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, will you do me a favor? I want you to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the great videos on fasting, intermittent fasting, cellular detoxification, raw vegan recipes, growing your own food, emotional things we go through, right, in the love room here, and all the other beauty secrets I have to share with you that keep me looking quite nice in my 4th decade here of life. So hit that subscribe button, and if you would like, you can also subscribe to my sister channel, the Detox Intuitive, where I do an intuitive reading every single month for each of the zodiac signs on your health, your well-being, your love life, and your career. Also, you might want to check out my latest book, Eat Right for Your Zodiac Type, 144 pages of plant-based recipes. Look at these desserts, you guys. Yum! Here to tickle your fancy, and they're all designed according to your zodiacal chart, so I think a lot of you will find this book very helpful. You can get that in my shop at AndreaCox.com and soon to come out in Barnes & Noble. So you guys, what I wanted to talk to you about today is something I get asked about a lot, and that is my intermittent fasting schedule. So I have been an intermittent faster for about 20 years. And those of you who don't know this, I am in my 40s. And when I say I'm in my 40s, I'm like in the 40s, right? And I really feel like, oh, and one more thing, I don't get Botox. I don't do anything to my face at all. I'm actually allergic to Botox. I tried to get it in my early 20s, believe it or not, like I even needed it, and I broke out in a head to toe rash. So I can't get any of the fillers or the Botox like a lot of other people. So if you look at my forehead, I have wrinkles, right? If I squint and things like that, but it's not to the extent that a lot of people I feel my age have. And the reason being, I feel, is because I fast a lot. Fasting actually stimulates something in us to reverse the aging process. That's right. It stimulates something in us to reverse the aging process. So when I learned this years ago, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. Now, over the years, I've done a lot of extensive fasts. I did 21 days up in Santa Rosa, California, of a water fast at True North Health Center. I have done fasts at Optimal Health Institute, where you fast for 3 days at a time, then you eat raw vegan food. I spent about 3 months there at the location in San Diego, on and off. I have fasted on my own periodically, but I generally fast 1 day a week, and I also never eat solid food pretty much before noon, sometimes not even until 2 o'clock. And it's just because I've trained my body to not actually be hungry. Now, do I recommend you dive head into this? Absolutely not. Actually, a lot of people can't fast because of blood sugar issues, because they're on medications, because, you know, just they've got 3 kids and they're chasing after their kids, and they just feel like they get, you know, itchy bitchy when they fast. So, you know, I am someone who has done this for years on end. Now, what are some of the things I drink during the time I'm fasting? Well, I just made this burdock root tea, and I'll share that video with you. If I haven't posted it yet, I'll be posting it next. And if I have posted it, I'll share it here. And a lot of times I'll drink Gynostema tea. What I try to avoid when I'm fasting is coffee. The mistake a lot of people make when they try to do intermittent fasting, in my opinion, is they'll start their day off drinking coffee, and they'll put like a splash of dairy milk in it or almond milk, and they think they're doing their body a healthy service. And in actuality, when we are utilizing caffeine for energy, we actually lose energy in the long run, and we end up having kind of a midday slump. So I like to start my day with lemon water, and about 32 ounces. Sometimes I'll do 1 drop, not a dropper full, but a drop of Lugol's iodine, because that's good for the thyroid. I'll get a good sweat on, or right now it's cold out, so I go out into my garage to do my elliptical and it's kind of cold, so I don't sweat very much. Sometimes I'll jump in my sauna afterwards. And then, before you know it, when I get out of the shower and I'm ready to get ready, it's already noon, right? So usually I'll have a big fresh vegetable juice and I'll follow that up with, a jackfruit salad or something like that. And then later on I'll have dinner. I don't feel the need as I get older to eat as much as I used to. I actually feel like it weighs me down pretty much if I eat heavy food. So I try to keep it light in the evening. I always have fat in my dinner. I am definitely not a low-fat vegan anymore like I used to be. I used to be a really high fruit, low-fat vegan. Now I would say I'm still high fruit, but I definitely add some fats to keep my hormones healthy, to keep my collagen production healthy, to keep my skin healthy, and I find that works best for me. Now, a good test to see if your fasting regimen is working for you is, how is your hair? Is your hair thick? Is your hair vibrant? Mine is like a mane. You could climb this if I hung it out a window. How is your skin? Do you have to wear a bunch of makeup, or is your skin pretty much, clear on its own? I find that the skin is a big time sign of our health. How are your gums and your teeth? How are your energy levels? We all go through periods of time where we're tired and we need to lay down and we need to get rest, but it shouldn't be all the time, right? So I found that when I utilized intermittent fasting in a much healthier way, for example, when I fast 1 day a week, when I was younger, it was like a stronghold. What is a stronghold? It became a habit that I felt like I had to do every Sunday. Like, it's Sunday, I'm not gonna eat. I'm gonna run all my errands and I'm not gonna eat. I'm just gonna, do this. Even when I got really thin and I knew that it maybe was time for me to take some time off of fasting. Now that I'm older, I like to maintain a healthy weight that is healthy for me. And I feel like when I go beneath that weight, it's time to skip the fasting 1 day a week for me. And that just keeps me at a healthier balance and a healthier weight. I really feel like we all have an ideal weight, and this is gonna sound really silly, but if you were healthy in high school, usually the weight you were when you graduated from high school is your healthy weight. Now remember, I said if you were healthy. That doesn't mean if you were underweight and you were a wrestler trying to meet a certain weight criteria, or if you were overweight. If you were at a healthy weight in high school, usually that's your weight. I don't want to get into what that weight is for me, but yeah, so that's how I feel about that. Now, another thing about fasting, there's a lot of stuff online that attribute intermittent fasting to your body type. I think that's a lot of nonsense. They're like, oh, if you're pear-shaped, you should fast 16 hours a day. No, if you're thin, you should fast this many hours a day. I actually disagree with that big time. I feel that your length of time that you are intermittent fasting should really be on how it makes you feel. For example, 16 hours may work for some people, but for someone with a difficult job or kids, it may not work for them, right? So yeah, so I feel like it's really individual for each person. I know for me, for example, today I did eat right at noon, and usually the first meal of the day for me is about 2 o'clock. But I'm trying to also get to bed much earlier. I've been going to bed at 9 p.m. and sleeping like 8 to 9 hours a night and getting that deep, rapid eye movement. So if you want to go to bed earlier, maybe your first meal should be moved up. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to bed earlier, making that last meal of the day be much earlier, and wake much earlier. So for me, I'm trying to move the first meal of the day up a lot closer, like 11 versus like 2 p.m. So that's something you also want to consider. Now, the last thing you want to consider is what you drink while you're fasting. So true fasting is actually drinking nothing at all. No water, no anything, right? It's actually called dry fasting. Now, dry fasting is something that is highly beneficial, but please check with your doctor. It can also be really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing and if you're not at a certain level of health that you need to be at. Now, fasting on water is another way to go. A lot of people find that they can't get their morning routine done or even their laundry done, let alone their workout done, if they are just drinking water. I do fine with that. Now, last but certainly not least, tea. Teas are great to drink while you're fasting, as long as you don't put a lot of stuff in. Honey and even almond milk and oat milk and things, I find while you're fasting, you're not truly fasting if you're taking those things in. So true fasting is water, maybe a little bit tea, with maybe monk fruit sweetener, something that's real low calorie, or dry fasting. Anything else is really not fasting. And I wanted to put that out there because a lot of people think if they're on a juice fast, they're fasting. You're actually not. You're still getting all the vitamins and nutrients you need. It's still very healing for the body, but it's actually not true fasting. So I hope this video helped you. If you did, give me a thumbs up and tell me your experience about fasting below. You can sign up for my newsletter at AndreaCox.com, and thank you for subscribing to this channel. Please subscribe to my sister channel, The Detox Intuitive, which is right below. Be well.